I have got to get some stuff off my chest. I spent the weekend looking on social media at some of the bad blood all across the different rum sites, rum groups. It is so depressing to see such negative and aggressive comments from people. You cannot mention certain brands without having your head bitten off, and there's not much love there. So I wanted to give you my thoughts on some of the most controversial topics within the world of rum. Let's just pause for a second. What is rum? Rum is really simply defined by European law, so not global law, but European law. The raw materials have to come from sugarcane, be it molasses, sugarcane syrup, or sugarcane juice, distilled lower than 96% alcohol, bottled at no lower than 37.5%. You can't add any artificial flavourings. You can add colouring, but only caramel. You're allowed to sweeten rum, but no more than 20 grams per litre of sugar is to be added. If you go higher than 96%, you're into the world of vodka. The specific wording on the European regulations are there has to be discernible organoleptic characteristics of rum. What does that mean? It means you should be able to tell that it's rum. Simple as that. So with that in mind, let's tackle some of the most controversial subjects in the world of rum. First off, sugar. Sugar is probably the biggest debate at the moment. A lot of consumers will imagine that because it's made from sugarcane, it should be sweet. It's not true. It's made from sugarcane, and yes, that has a lot of sugar in it, but the sugar should be converted into alcohol by the yeast. Realistically, you're going to end up with a dry product. Any of that syrupy sugariness shouldn't be existing. They have added sugar. One of the biggest problems here is about transparency. Credit has to be given to plantation for the transparency on the labels to tell you exactly how much sugar they've got added to them. I don't like my rums as sweet. I wish there was less sugar in them, but that's me, and I am used to tasting neat spirits. I'm used to enjoying spirits. In terms of a mass market, in terms of saleability, they put sugar in these rums for a reason. Not because it tastes better, that's subjective, but it tastes better to the mass market, which is less subjective and more measurable based on what sells. So second point, sort of attached to the first one, is colouring. You are allowed to add colouring to your rum. It's been happening for centuries. So I don't mind colouring, but I think when it comes to consumers and the way we look at rum, we need to be a bit more clued up. Does that realistically look like it's spent for 25 years in a barrel? Really? I don't know. We need to use a bit of common sense there. I knew this would be a rant. Marketing. Whenever you mention a product like Zacapa on one of these rum groups, you can get your head bitten off. It's because the educated few, those that have seen the light and realised that there's more to the world of rum than Bacardi and Zacapa, they feel so passionately about the products that they've discovered, they end up attacking the big market brands. But they're big market brands, that's what they are. We're so naive in thinking that they're anything other than commercial enterprises. Let's just look at Zacapa for examples. But who on earth picks up a Zacapa 23 and doesn't assume that it's a 23-year-old rum? Zacapa 23, containing a blend of rums from 6 to 23 years old. They still put 23 on the bottle and makes people think that it's a 23-year-old product. It's aged at 2,300 feet above sea level. Are you kidding me? I mean, even if it is 23, who on earth would refer to 2,300 feet above sea level as 23? It's clever marketing, it's very good, and they sell an awful lot of their liquid. You know, I heard recently Bacardi have a lot to answer for. I think on the one hand they do, because they produce some really questionable rum. And I mean questionable based on the definitions of rum. I'm not just talking whether I like it or not. They are stretching the definitions of what it means to be organoleptically, discernibly, characteristically rum. They distill it so high, so neutrally, that they strip out so much flavour. They sell lots and lots of it. We're buying it. So what has Bacardi done wrong? They're not actually breaking any rules. They're still a rum. They're saying it's a lifestyle product, it's a lifestyle choice. That's clever marketing. In fact, one of my favourite points on the advert that I last saw for Bacardi is no one's actually drinking it, they're just dancing and they're all beautiful, and it's night time and they're dancing on the beach until the sun comes up. And the only person in the advert that actually puts any Bacardi in their mouth also spits it out on fire, but I think that's quite funny. And that's Bacardi. That's them being honest, maybe. I don't know. Spiced rum. I do have a big issue with spiced rum, partly because I don't like spiced rum, but I think the problem I have with spiced rum is that it's called exactly that. It's called spiced rum. You don't market gin as flavoured vodka, or spiced vodka, and yet that's exactly what that is. Gin is an entirely different spirit category to vodka. Rum is an entirely different spirit category to spiced rum. You cannot add flavourings to rum. So when people come into rum bars and say, what spiced rums have you got? That is the equivalent of going into Vodka Revolution and saying, what gins do you have? And okay, maybe you really like your spiced rums. Good for you. But I don't. So when the spiced rum market is booming, that is utterly and definably different to the rum market, as far as I'm concerned. I think my final point that I wanted to discuss today is about terms that we apply to our rums. Premium, super premium, ultra premium. So this is where the problem comes in. If you're going to bottle something that's predominantly 6 years old and you're going to market it as something that suggests it might be 23 years old, if you're going to add sugar to that product, if you're going to add colouring to that product, then please don't call it a super premium or a sipping product. I think it's deliberately misleading the market and deliberately misleading consumers. I don't know, I think it puts into question how much we pay for some of these products. If you like Bacardi, if you like Zacapa, then you're not wrong. You're perfectly entitled to enjoy those products. But listen, this is a one-way conversation. I'm very passionate about it, but I would absolutely love to make it a two-way conversation. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts. So if you're passionate about rum, or if this has intrigued you in any way, I'd be really, really keen to hear your thoughts. So please write your comments down below, and you can find my email address, so write to me privately if you want. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, then please subscribe, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.